everybody. I think it's going to be a busy day here on the farm. I've been here in the kitchen this morning early trying to get some things started. I'm going to make some applesauce in the crock pot. I've got a loaf of rosemary skillet bread. This is a new recipe. Rosemary skillet bread, raising on the stove. And we're fixing to make a trip to town to do a couple of things. We're going to go look about some pumpkins and some butternut squash, and maybe make a run to a new Amish store that we found. So we have several things planned today. We'll try to take you all along. Here is my apples. Here are my apples. And some cinnamon and brown sugar, a little bit of lemon juice and water. I've got those in the crock pot. We're going to, I had a couple of different things of apples sitting here that didn't get eat. And here is, let me turn the light on. Well, that might have made it worse. My rosemary skillet bread. Like I said, this is a new Pinterest recipe, so we'll see how this comes out. But I've put the rosemary in it that I dried from the garden. So we'll see how that turns out after a while. Like I said, got a lot to do today. We are going to run to town here in just a few minutes. And I've got housework to do. And I've got stuff to bring in. We want to try to harvest the sweet potatoes and some Swiss chard. And we've got the greasy beans have dried down. We're going to try to bring those in today. And I think Steve's got some hay to cut. So we'll see how things go. Okay, here's the first one. Look at the roots. I'm pretty excited. Yay! Look at the potatoes! Nice ones. Well, we'll cook him. Lay him to the side. We'll cook him first. I'll cook him first. There's not a whole lot in there, but there's a few. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Is there 6, Steve? 6 or 7? 6 or 7 tubs. I think these vines would grow forever. I think they would. There's not a whole lot in it. But like I said, by the time we get them all emptied out, we ought to have several. And the cows are getting the sweet potato vines. So they're getting a treat off of it also. That's not too bad. No complaints.
No, we're not almost done already.
Okay, here's tub number 2. We've already dug a few out of one of them. I think this one, we tunneled down in it and got a few out. 3 or 4, we didn't get a whole lot. That sun's bright. I can't see the camera, so. It's hard to do this with. There. I just flipped my shoe full of dirt.
I'll cut the vines off first.
Yeah, that probably help. We've got a few out in the garden that are just in the ground. I don't think. They got weedy in between them. This whole area out here got weedy. It didn't get this bad last year. I don't know. The weeds come up through the ground cover stuff. Okay, this is number 3. Oh, there come a big spider out. He needs to go away. He'll be up my leg.
Eat that late.
Brayden, you want to help dig for sweet potatoes? No? There's some.
They're getting out early.
Yeah, I know. Well, not bad. I don't think. Them are good bacon size. I don't like them real huge. They're hard to peel and cut. Really hard to cut up when they're great big like that. Looks like that's it for that one. Okay, here goes number 4.
Look at the spiders.
Oh, there's just spiders everywhere. Yeah, I think oh, there's another one. I think I'm going to stay back. I can film from way back here. You may have to scoop that dirt up by yourself this time. Too many spiders in that one. Brayden, here's some more vines you missed.
We're gonna lay them at the shear 'em.
I don't know.
About 8.
I don't know.
Anybody can.
Here's the rhubarb. I got it cut. Now I'm going to try to bring in all this Swiss chard. I'm probably going to put it in the freezer. It's got a few tomatoes growing in. A little bit of crow's foot growing. This is all growing in a pallet that we grew lettuce in back in the spring, and it's done really, really well. So it looks really good. So I'm going to cut all this and get this in. Okay, we got the Swiss chard. Me and Brayden got the Swiss chard cut. We got the rhubarb done. We got a huge basket of Swiss chard. Come a little closer, Braden. Let's look. Look at the pretty colors in this. Look at that yellow and the red. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous.
Looks like a popsicle to me.
It looks really good. And now we'll go see how Steve's doing on the beans. Okay, Steve's out here picking the dried greasy beans. We'll probably keep most of them for seed. I might try to cook a few just like you would dried beans. There's still a few more on there that needs to dry down, but this is what we've got so far. Looks like I'll be shelling beans over the next few days. I've decided to come out this morning and harvest some peppers and this huge amount of basil that's in this raised bed out by the greenhouse. The oregano's coming back really well after it was cut down last time. I may give it a little bit more time. It's starting to cool down a lot here, so I don't know. It's probably pretty cold hardy because it is a perennial. And there's a little bit of rosemary in here. There's some thyme right there that's come back. This basil's kind of shading everything. So there are, these volunteer tomatoes have taken over back here. They're everywhere. So I've got to try to get around them. I hate to walk on them because our tomatoes are getting down slim. So I'm going to take what I can get. But I'm going to might pull the majority of these peppers off. I don't think peppers like temperatures 50 degrees and below, so I don't want to take a chance on them getting any kind of damage. So I'll probably pull these and get them in the freezer. Okay, this is just the Cubanelles. This is off of 2 pepper plants here. I don't know if you can tell how big this basket is, but I've got a lot of peppers already. I've got a couple of jalapeno plants on the other side that I'm gonna go clean off. I pulled all of them, but just a couple of tiny ones, because they're all a decent size. I mean, some of these are big enough I could stuff them, and I may do that this weekend. I get some hamburger thawed out or some sausage. I may try to stuff some of these this weekend to get them used because of just having freezer space and having so many peppers in the freezer. I'm not sure we'll get them all used up. So I may do that. Sorry about that. I'll start looking up some good recipes to see what I can find. I actually watched one on YouTube this morning that looked pretty good. They used red peppers, sweet red peppers, but I'm going to tell you, if you've never had a Cubanelle, I have fell in love with these peppers. They don't have any heat. They're really good in Mexican dishes. They're good in anything. I bought some of these at the grocery store one time and just fell in love with them. And they're really good stuffed. So we'll see what I can come up with. Now I'm gonna try to pick these jalapenos over here and see how many we have of them. So I haven't had any breakfast. So I think I'll have a little snack because I wasn't too hungry till I got out here stirring around in this basil behind me, and boy, I'm gonna tell you, that stuff makes your belly growl. So before I pick these, I'm gonna snack on these little cherry tomatoes. These are really, really good this year. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me for this little visit out to the raised bed this morning. And hang in there. I'm sure we'll have some more to add to it. We may do a video, add to it a little bit today. We're going to do probably the last hay baling of the year. Well, actually, this is the last hay cutting. I think he's got a little bit more to cut. And I might be wrong. He may have gotten that done the other night. I can't remember. But we're going to square bale some out back here by the garden. And he's got some, I think, to roll and get up. And that's going to be the last cutting for 2020 here on the farm. So hang in there. We'll be back. One more quick thing. I wanted to show you this humongous basket full of basil. And all the peppers are in the bottom. If I'd gone to the garden and collected peppers, I probably would have filled this basket, which is probably what I'm going to have to take when I go to collect all the peppers this weekend. But now I've got to go in and find something to do with all this. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, talk about a haircut. I gave this basil one heck of a haircut. This stuff comes back. I mean, there's still a lot of good stuff on here. But it was starting to bloom and go to seed, so I wanted to get it cut down. There's another one probably needs taken off because it's got a bloom. You can actually use the blooms, the seed pods or whatever it is on there. I also trimmed a little bit of this oregano and some thyme that was there and some of it back there. I think I'm going to leave the celery for just a little bit longer. I'm going to let it get just a little bit bigger. It'll love this cool weather. So we'll give it another few days and see how it goes. But that's the herb bed. It's kind of slim looking now. I did leave the oregano. I took off 2 or 3 long ones. That on that side over there looks like it's starting to die down. So we'll leave it for now and see. I've got it, or the rosemary, I think. I don't know what I said, but the rosemary. But that's where we're at now with the herb bed. Like I said, there's still more peppers and stuff that needs gathered in the garden. And my blue corn is still drying down a little bit more. But other than that, I think we're just about finished. We haven't dug the potatoes yet, but that's just about it. We're going to try to wrap up a lot of that this coming week and get the garden wrapped up for the year. We've got a little bit of fall stuff out, but not a lot. We've got some turnips and some green beans. We'll see how they do with this cool weather. Turnips will be fine, but I'm not sure about the green beans. But I do have, I think we've got enough turnips up that I could probably get a few greens off of them. I'm hoping to can some greens this fall, like we did last year. I just froze my Swiss chard, and it takes a lot of greens to make anything. All that Swiss chard I gathered in the other night only made 2 bags. So, but we did eat some for supper that night. So I'm hoping to get quite a few. But I'm focusing over here on the pond area because I want to show y'all when I opened the kitchen curtains this morning early, there was 4 turkeys right on the other side of this fence coming from, I guess, down in the woods. And I looked out and there was 4 more out in the garden. And the 4 here went under the fence and was headed out that way. So they should have been out there all summer eating bugs, and they may have been, I don't know. But before I go, I want to show y'all one more thing here. This right here, if you was raised here in Kentucky on a farm, we called these biker worms. It's a tomato hornworm, and this thing will destroy your tomato crop. They will destroy them. They eat them down to nothing. These little white things on there are eggs from a parasitic wasp that stings these caterpillars, and they will eventually die. So if you run onto one of these, leave it alone because it's not eating anymore. These eggs hatch and put off more of the parasitic wasps that will protect your tomato crops. We've seen several of these in the garden this year, so the wasps are definitely doing their thing, which is another good reason why I'm not a fan of sprays, of chemical sprays. People spray their bean crops and their corn crops and their hay crops, and I know sometimes they don't have any other alternative because insects are so bad and they've got to make a living, and I understand that. But things like these wasps get just about wiped out from it. I don't even know what the wasp looks like, but this caterpillar he's about done. And honestly, I may go ahead and just squish him to put him out of his misery, because they're pretty much done for the year anyway. So these eggs that hatch, I don't think they're going to amount to anything this time because it's going to get too cold. But just wanted to let you know what this is. If you see this in your garden on your tomatoes, you don't have to worry about plucking him off and killing him, because these little eggs are going to do the job. They're going to suck the life out of him. And they literally do. When you see them, when they're dead, they're dried up. They suck the life out of them. The celery that's come back. And it's actually, it's good. It's not bad. This stuff, in the summer, with the heat, it gets too hot. It gets bitter, and you can't hardly eat it. But I may cut some of this and take it in. I've dried celery leaves. You can dehydrate celery and the leaves. But I have dehydrated the leaves for soup. You can dehydrate carrot tops. There's so many things that you can do to have your own fresh ingredients and stuff. So many. Well, right now I've lost my scissors. I left them in the basket, and that was a mistake because they're buried in peppers. I don't know where they've gone to. Braden, come out of the trough. Don't let him in the trough. Stay there. The cows will be here in a minute. Come here, Eli.
No, come here.
Careful, Kendall.
I'm done chasing tonight. After this, we're going in.
Get up here. Here they come.
Go.
Are you ready?
Look.
Here they come. Look, boys. Here come the cows.
Oh.
Down on his face.
You okay?
You all right? On his elbow.
Eli.
You didn't give him much feed. Never mind. Boys, look. Wow. Yeah.
That's Mr. Wilson there, Andy. So that's the bull.
Back up a little bit. Want that one? Hang on. Hang on.
Is that Mr. Wilson?
That's Mr. Wilson.
Okay, our direction. Oh.
He's going out.
He's going to close the gate.
Why are you telling him no? Look, do you want to pet this one? Oh.
You're actually soft.
Oh.
Where'd we lose Papa?
No, here. Let's go on this side. Did you pet her? Okay, let's not pet him. Let's, yeah. Let's not.
He's probably more tame than the cows.
No. Thanks for drawing attention to the water thing. Sorry. Oh! She touched me with her nose.
Hmm?
You locked in? I know, it comes off that block.
Mm-hmm.
Like it up, it ain't.
Okay, we're all done with this video. There's 2 or 3 days worth of footage in this video here. It's not all one day, but we've got several things all tied up in this one video. The cows are all fed, and the heifers are fed. The boys have had their ride tonight, and we're all finished up here on the farm today. We're glad you came to visit. Come back and see us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And have a great week. God bless.